Welcome to Portugal, a land where ancient history meets modern charm, where majestic coastlines meet rolling hills, and where every cobblestone tells a story spanning more than 8 centuries. Nestled on the western edge of the Iberian Peninsula, Portugal is a country that defies its modest size with an abundance of natural wonders and cultural treasures. From the rugged Atlantic coastline that stretches for over 1,100 miles to the sun-drenched hills of the Alentejo region, this enchanting nation offers a tapestry of experiences that will leave you breathless. The geography here is nothing short of spectacular. Imagine golden beaches kissed by powerful Atlantic waves, medieval castles perched on dramatic cliffs, terraced vineyards cascading down river valleys, and volcanic islands rising majestically from azure waters. The Portuguese culture is a beautiful blend of maritime tradition, deep-rooted Catholic faith, and a passionate love for family and community. This is a nation of explorers who once sailed to the ends of the earth, bringing back spices, stories, and influences that still flavor their cuisine and color their festivals today. The history runs deep here, from Roman settlements to Moorish influences. From the age of discovery to modern European integration, Portugal has been shaped by centuries of cultural exchange and innovation. But here's a question that might surprise you. What if I told you that in just 10 destinations, you could experience everything from fairy tale palaces to pristine beaches, from ancient Roman temples to world-class wine regions, all while discovering a country that most travelers still overlook? Today, we're embarking on an unforgettable journey through 10 of Portugal's most enchanting destinations. So hit the subscribe button to join our community of adventurous souls. And don't forget to check out the amazing travel and accommodation deals in the descriptions below. Your Portuguese adventure awaits. Lisbon. Lisbon, Portugal's captivating capital, where 2.8 million souls call home this mesmerizing metropolis built upon 7 hills overlooking the Tagus River. Geographically positioned at 38 degrees 43 north latitude, Lisbon serves as the westernmost capital city in continental Europe, blessed with a Mediterranean climate that bathes the city in golden light nearly 300 days a year. The geography of Lisbon is nothing short of spectacular. The city cascades down hillsides toward the mighty Tagus River, creating a natural amphitheater that has inspired poets and artists for centuries. The 7 hills, São Roque, São Vicente, Santana, Santo André, Chagas, Santa Catarina, and Estrela, each offer unique perspectives and neighborhoods that tell different chapters of the city's story. Lisbon is the beating heart of Portuguese identity. This is where fado was born, that hauntingly beautiful musical expression of the Portuguese soul that UNESCO recognized as an intangible cultural heritage. Walk through the narrow streets of Alfama at night, and you'll hear the mournful guitar strings and passionate voices spilling from tiny tavernas, carrying stories of love, loss, and longing that have echoed through these stone walls for generations. The development history of Lisbon reads like an epic novel. Founded by the Phoenicians as Ali's Ubbo, safe harbor, the city later became Olisipo under Roman rule. The Moors conquered it in 711 AD, leaving behind architectural influences still visible today. But it was in 1147, when King Afonso I reclaimed the city for Christianity, that Lisbon truly began its rise to prominence. By the 15th and 16th centuries, during the Age of Discoveries, Lisbon had become one of Europe's wealthiest cities, the departure point for expeditions that would map the world. The iconic Belém Tower stands guard over the Tagus, a limestone fortress that blessed countless expeditions to unknown lands. Nearby, the magnificent Jeronimo's Monastery showcases Manueline architecture at its finest, where Vasco da Gama prayed before his historic voyage to India. The colorful Pina Palace in nearby Sintra, which we'll explore separately, represents romantic architecture's pinnacle, while the mysterious Quinta de Regalhera invites visitors into a world of symbols and secrets. The Alfama district, with its labyrinthine streets and traditional tile facades, offers an authentic glimpse into old Lisbon. Here, laundry still hangs between buildings like prayer flags, and the scent of grilled sardines fills the air during the beloved Santo Antonio festivals in June. Don't miss the modern side, either the Orient Station by Santiago Calatrava and the Contemporary Art Museum's showcase Lisbon's forward-thinking spirit. Lisbon, built on 7 hills along the Tagus River, serves as Portugal's cultural and historical heart. From its Phoenician origins through the Age of Discoveries to its post-earthquake rebirth, the city offers an incredible blend of ancient neighborhoods like Alfama, magnificent monuments like Belém Tower, and modern architectural marvels, all infused with the soulful culture of fado music. Porto. Journey with me now to Porto, the magnificent city that gave Portugal its name and port wine its soul. Situated in the northwest at the mouth of the Douro River, Porto's metropolitan area houses 1.7 million inhabitants, who proudly call themselves tripeiros, tripe eaters, a nickname born from their ancestors' sacrifice during a siege when they gave all their meat to supply ships and survived on tripe. Porto presents a dramatically different landscape from Lisbon. The city sprawls across granite hills that plunge toward the Atlantic, where the Golden Douro River meets the sea. The famous Évora district clings to the riverbank like a colorful tapestry, while the upper city spreads across plateaus connected by ancient stone bridges. The climate here is more temperate, with Atlantic influences bringing refreshing mists that nurture the legendary vineyards of the nearby Douro Valley. The culture of Porto pulses with a distinct northern Portuguese identity, more reserved than Lisbon's exuberance, but deeper and more contemplative. This is the birthplace of Prince Henry the Navigator, the visionary who launched Portugal's age of exploration from these very shores. The people of Porto are known for their work ethic, creativity, and fierce independence. They've earned the nickname Invicta, undefeated, for their resistance throughout history. Porto's development story begins with Roman settlements called Portugal, which eventually gave the entire country its name. Throughout medieval times, the city flourished as a trading port, but it was during the 17th and 18th centuries that Porto truly found its golden identity through the port wine trade with England. The Treaty of Methuen in 1703 created a booming industry that transformed not just the city, but the entire Douro region. The 19th and 20th centuries brought industrial growth, making Porto Portugal's economic powerhouse. The city's relationship with its famous product, port wine, created the unique culture of the wine lodges in Vila Nova de Gaia, just across the river, where wooden barrels age liquid gold in cool stone cellars. The historic centre, a UNESCO World Heritage Site, showcases some of Europe's most stunning architecture. The Igreja do Carmo and Igreja dos Carmelitas stand side by side, separated by what's claimed to be the narrowest house in Europe, just 1.2 meters wide. The São Bento station transforms a simple train station into an art gallery with 20,000 hand-painted azulejo tiles depicting Portuguese history. The iconic Dom Louis Bridge, designed by a student of Gustave Eiffel, offers spectacular views of both sides of the Douro. Cross it to Vila Nova de Gaia, where dozens of port wine cellars invite you to taste centuries of tradition. The contemporary Serralves Museum, designed by Álvaro César Vieira, represents Portugal's modern architectural genius, while the futuristic Casa de Música concert hall adds a bold contemporary accent to the skyline. The Livraria Lello, one of the world's most beautiful bookstores, inspired J.K. Rowling during her time teaching in Porto. You can see elements that influenced Hogwarts' magical staircases. The Crystal Palace gardens offer peaceful respites with stunning river views, while the traditional Francis in her sandwich provides fuel for exploration, a hearty creation of meats, cheese, and a secret beer-based sauce that locals guard jealously. Porto, the Invicta city at the Douro River's mouth, combines granite hills with Atlantic mists to create Portugal's northern soul. From Roman Portugal through the port wine boom to modern times, The city offers UNESCO-listed architecture, world-famous wine cellars, stunning bridges, and cultural treasures like the magical livraria Lello bookstore. Sintra. Sintra, the mystical town that Lord Byron called Glorious Eden, and UNESCO declared a cultural landscape of outstanding universal value. Nestled in the Sintra Mountains, just 30 kilometers west of Lisbon, this enchanted destination sits at the perfect intersection of history, romance, and natural beauty. Sintra occupies a unique microclimate where the Atlantic Ocean meets the continental interior, creating misty mornings and cool summers that have attracted Portuguese royalty for over 600 years. The Serra de Sintra rises dramatically from the coastal plain, its granite peaks reaching 529 meters at Cruz Alta, covered in dense forests of oak, pine, and exotic species planted by romantic 19th century garden designers. The culture of Sintra embodies Portuguese romanticism at its peak. This is where 19th century kings and queens, artists and writers created a fantasyland of palaces, parks, and mysterious gardens. The very air seems infused with poetry and dreams. Local traditions include the famous queijadas de Sintra, sweet cheese pastries, and travesseiros, pillow-shaped pastries filled with almond cream that have been made by the same families for generations. Sintra's development as a royal retreat began in the 14th century when King João I chose the location for a summer palace. The unique climate, cool and humid, while the rest of Portugal sweltered, made it the perfect escape. During the 19th century's Romantic movement, Sintra became a canvas for architectural fantasies. King Ferdinand II transformed the ruins of a medieval monastery into the colorful Pina Palace, while wealthy aristocrats and merchants built elaborate quintas, estates throughout the mountains. The most famous destination is undoubtedly the Pina Palace, a riot of colors and architectural styles perched atop the highest peak. This 19th century romantic fantasy combines Gothic, Renaissance, Moorish, and Manueline elements in a way that shouldn't work, but creates pure magic. The palace's yellow and red walls seem to glow against the misty mountain backdrop, while its interiors preserve the intimate atmosphere of Portugal's last royal family. The mysterious Quinta de Regalera takes visitors deeper into Sintra's mystical side. Built by millionaire Antonio Augusto Carvalho Monteiro, known as Monteiro dos Milhos, this early 20th century estate combines palace, chapel, and elaborate gardens filled with symbols from alchemy, masonry, and Christian mysticism. The famous initiation well spirals 27 meters underground, connected to other grottos by mysterious tunnels that emerge in unexpected garden corners. The National Palace of Sintra, with its distinctive white chimneys visible from miles away, represents the more intimate side of Portuguese royalty. Here, in rooms covered with some of Portugal's finest azulejos, kings and queens lived their daily lives for 6 centuries. The Swan Room, the Magpie Room, and the Coat of Arms Room each tell stories of love, betrayal, and political intrigue. Don't miss the Castle of the Moors, a 10th century fortification that offers breathtaking views across the region to the Atlantic Ocean. On clear days, you can see all the way to Lisbon and beyond. The walk along its ancient walls, especially at sunset, provides moments of pure transcendence. Sintra Byron's glorious Eden combines a unique Atlantic microclimate with royal history spanning 6 centuries. From the colorful fantasy of Pina Palace to the mystical symbolism of Quinta de Regaleira, from the intimate national palace to the ancient Moorish castle, Sintra offers an otherworldly experience where Portuguese romanticism created architectural dreams among misty mountain forests. Cascais. Welcome to Cascais, the glamorous coastal town that transformed from a humble fishing village into Portugal's most elegant seaside resort, earning the nickname Portuguese Riviera. Located just 30 kilometers west of Lisbon, along the stunning Estoril coast, Cascais has been the playground of European royalty, artists, and spies for over a century. Cascais enjoys a privileged position where the Tagus River meets the Atlantic Ocean, creating a series of beautiful bays and beaches protected by dramatic cliffs. The town sits on a relatively flat coastal plain, making it perfect for the leisurely strolls and café culture that define its character. The Atlantic influence moderates temperatures year-round, creating the perfect climate for outdoor activities and al fresco dining. The culture of Cascais seamlessly blends aristocratic elegance with authentic Portuguese seaside traditions. You'll still see fishermen mending nets in the early morning, but by afternoon, the same harbors fill with luxury yachts. The town's cultural identity was shaped significantly during World War II, when Portugal's neutrality made it a refuge for European royalty, displaced aristocrats, and international spies, a period that added layers of sophistication and international flair to local traditions. Cascais' development from fishing village to resort paradise began in 1870 when King Louis I chose it as his summer residence, making sea bathing fashionable among Portuguese nobility. The royal presence attracted wealthy families who built elegant villas and quintas along the coast. During the 20th century, particularly during and after World War II, Cascais became a cosmopolitan haven where exiled European royalty, including the deposed kings of Italy, Hungary, and Bulgaria, established residence. The town's transformation accelerated in the 1960s with the development of tourism infrastructure, golf courses, and marinas, but careful planning preserved its essential character. Today, Cascais successfully balances its roles as a working fishing port, elegant resort, and authentic Portuguese town. The charming historic center revolves around the picturesque fishing harbor, where colorful boats still bring in the daily catch. The covered market bursts with fresh seafood, local produce, and artisanal products that reflect both land and sea traditions. Boca do Inferno, Hell's Mouth, provides one of Portugal's most dramatic coastal experiences, where Atlantic waves crash into limestone cliffs, creating thunderous sprays and mysterious grottos. The walkway along these cliffs offers breathtaking views and photo opportunities that capture the raw power of the ocean. The beaches of Cascais each have distinct personalities. Praia de Banha is perfect for swimming and sunbathing, protected within the bay, while Praia do Guincho attracts world-class windsurfers and surfers with its powerful Atlantic swells and constant winds. The elegant Praia de Conceição, right in town, offers the perfect blend of convenience and beauty. The Paulo Rego Museum, dedicated to Portugal's most internationally acclaimed contemporary artist, showcases works that explore themes of Portuguese identity, women's experiences, and social commentary through powerful visual narratives. The museum building itself, designed by Eduardo Souto de Moura, represents contemporary Portuguese architecture at its finest. Cascais, the Portuguese Riviera, evolved from a fishing village to an elegant resort when King Louis I made it fashionable in 1870. Today it perfectly balances working harbor traditions with luxury tourism, offering dramatic coastal scenery at Boca do Inferno, diverse beaches from protected Banha to wild Guincho, world-class cultural attractions like the Paulo Rego Museum, and the sophisticated atmosphere that attracted European royalty and international spies. Évora. Évora, the remarkable city that UNESCO calls the finest example of a city of the golden age of Portugal after the destruction of Lisbon in 1755. Located in the heart of the Alentejo region, 130 kilometers east of Lisbon, Évora stands as a living museum where Roman temples coexist with medieval streets, Renaissance palaces, and Baroque churches. Évora sits on a gentle hill in the vast Alentejo plains, surrounded by rolling landscapes of cork oak forests, olive groves, and vineyards that stretch to every horizon. This interior location creates a continental climate with hot, dry summers and mild winters, perfect for the outdoor cafe culture and evening strolls that define Alentejo life. The city's position at the crossroads of ancient trade routes made it a natural center of power and culture for over 2 millennia. The culture of Évora embodies the essence of Alentejo's slower, more contemplative, deeply rooted in tradition. This is the land of vast estates, philosophical conversations over wine, and a cuisine that transforms simple ingredients into profound experiences. The Alentejo people are known for their wisdom, hospitality, and connection to the land. Here, time moves differently, allowing for deeper appreciation of life's subtleties. Évora's development spans over 2,000 years of continuous habitation. The Romans called it Liberalitas Julia and left behind one of the Iberian Peninsula's best preserved temples. The Visigoths and Moors each added their layers, but Évora's golden age came during the 15th and 16th centuries when Portuguese kings chose it as their preferred residence. The University of Évora, founded in 1559, became the second university in Portugal, attracting scholars from across Europe and making the city an intellectual powerhouse. The Inquisition's establishment here in the 16th century brought both architectural grandeur and dark history. The magnificent palace of the Inquisition still stands, though now serving peaceful purposes. After the earthquake of 1755 spared Évora while devastating Lisbon, the city became even more precious as a repository of pre-earthquake Portuguese architecture. Famous destinations in Évora create an incredible journey through Portuguese civilization. The Roman Temple of Diana, dating from the 2nd or 3rd century AD, stands majestically in the city center, one of the best preserved Roman temples in Portugal. 14 granite columns support capitals that have witnessed the rise and fall of empires, their Corinthian details still sharp against the Alentejo sky. The Cathedral of Évora, begun in 1186, represents the transition from Romanesque to Gothic architecture. Its fortress-like exterior gives way to soaring interior spaces, while the cloister offers peaceful moments of reflection. Climb the cathedral towers for panoramic views across the whitewashed city and endless Alentejo plains. But perhaps Évora's most haunting attraction is the Chapel of Bones, Capela dos Ossos, where Franciscan monks in the 16th century created walls and pillars from the bones and skulls of over 5,000 people. The inscription at the entrance warns, "We bones that are here, for yours await," a profound meditation on mortality that transforms a macabre concept into spiritual contemplation. Walk through the historic center within the Roman walls, and every street reveals architectural treasures, manuline windows, wrought iron balconies, medieval archways, and Renaissance palaces. The Geraldo Square serves as the city's living room, where locals gather at outdoor cafes beneath orange trees, continuing conversations that seem to have lasted for centuries. Évora, UNESCO's finest example of Golden Age Portugal, sits in the Alentejo Plains as a living museum spanning 2,000 years. From the Roman Temple of Diana through the medieval cathedral to the profound Chapel of Bones, the city preserves Portugal's architectural and cultural evolution while maintaining the contemplative, timeless spirit of the Alentejo region. Aveiro. Located on Portugal's Silver Coast, 75 kilometers south of Porto, Aveiro sits at the heart of a vast lagoon system that has shaped both its economy and its soul for over 1,000 years. Aveiro occupies a unique position where the Valga River meets the Atlantic Ocean, creating the Rio de Aveiro, a complex lagoon system covering 11,000 hectares of shallow waters, salt pans, and islands. This intricate waterway extends inland for 45 kilometers, creating a diverse ecosystem that supports everything from traditional salt production to modern-day flamingo colonies. The city itself is built on several islands connected by bridges, giving it its distinctive character as Portugal's canal city. The culture of Aveiro revolves around water, salt, and the colorful molicero boats that have navigated these channels for centuries. Originally designed to harvest seaweed for fertilizer, these boats are now painted with humorous sayings and folk art that reflect the local sense of humor and artistic spirit. The city's identity is deeply tied to the sea, from the traditional fishing methods still practiced in the lagoon to the famous ovos moles, sweet egg confections, that nuns created centuries ago and UNESCO now protects as cultural heritage. Aveiro's development history reads like a story of resilience and adaptation. Medieval documents mention the settlement as early as 959 AD, but the city's fortunes truly rose with the salt trade and fishing industry. By the 16th century, Aveiro was one of Portugal's most important ports, with a thriving cod fishing fleet that ventured to Newfoundland waters. Disaster struck in 1575 when a violent storm closed the lagoon's connection to the sea, turning Aveiro into an inland lake and devastating the local economy. For over 2 centuries, the city struggled with stagnant water, disease, and economic decline. But in 1808, locals finally succeeded in reopening the channel to the ocean, beginning a remarkable recovery that transformed challenges into opportunities. The 19th and early 20th centuries brought the railway and new industries, while the discovery of mineral salts in the region added another economic pillar. The Art Nouveau movement found perfect expression in Aveiro, where wealthy merchants built stunning houses that still line the canals today. Famous destinations in Aveiro offer delightful surprises around every corner. The central canals provide the perfect introduction, where traditional Molicero boats offer tour past Art Nouveau masterpieces like the Casa Major Pessoa and the stunning azulejo-covered buildings that seem to float on the water's surface. The Évora Museum, housed in the former convent of Jesus, tells the story of Princess Joana, daughter of King Afonso V, who chose religious life over royal marriage and became the city's patron saint. The museum's collection of Portuguese primitive paintings and religious art provides insight into Portugal's spiritual and artistic heritage. The salt pans of Aveiro represent one of Europe's oldest continuously operating salt production systems. Here, traditional methods create pyramid-shaped salt mountains that sparkle like snow under the Portuguese sun. The Ecomuseum of Marinha de Troncolhada explains the ancient techniques while offering boat trips through active salt pans where flamingos and other migratory birds create a natural spectacle. The nearby Costa Nova beach enchants visitors with its striped houses, originally fishermen's shelters painted in bright stripes so they could be spotted from the sea. These candy-colored buildings have become one of Portugal's most photographed coastal scenes, representing the playful side of Portuguese beach culture. Aveiro, the Portuguese Venice, sits at the center of a vast lagoon system where colorful Molicero boats navigate canals lined with Art Nouveau architecture. From medieval salt trade through centuries of maritime challenges to modern revival, the city offers unique experiences including traditional salt pans, UNESCO-protected Ovo's Moles suites, and the striped beach houses of Costa Nova. Funchal. Funchal, the captivating capital of Madeira, floating like a garden paradise in the Atlantic Ocean 1,000 kilometers from mainland Portugal. This subtropical haven where eternal spring meets dramatic volcanic landscapes, offers a completely different face of Portuguese culture, one shaped by centuries of isolation, innovation, and the unique challenges of island life. Funchal sits on Madeira's southern coast, built in a natural amphitheater where steep volcanic slopes descend to meet the deep blue Atlantic. The city spreads across several levels, from the historic Zona Velha, Old Town, at sea level up to Monte at 550 meters elevation, connected by cable cars that offer breathtaking views. Madeira's volcanic origin creates a dramatic topography of peaks, valleys, and levadas, irrigation channels, that transform the island into a vertical garden where microclimates support everything from tropical fruits to European vegetables. The unique position in the Atlantic gives Funchal a subtropical climate with minimal temperature variation. Average temperatures range from 19 degrees C in winter to 25 degrees C in summer, earning it the nickname Island of Eternal Spring. This perfect climate, combined with fertile volcanic soil and abundant water from the mountains, creates growing conditions that have made Madeira famous for its gardens, wines, and exotic fruits. The culture of Funchal blends Portuguese traditions with influences from Africa, the Americas, and other Atlantic islands, creating a unique Madeiran identity. This is the birthplace of Cristiano Ronaldo, but more importantly, it's the cultural heart of an island that has always looked outward to the world. The local dialect includes words from multiple cultures. The cuisine incorporates tropical ingredients unknown on the mainland, and the music includes influences from Portuguese, African, and Caribbean traditions. Madeira's development story begins with its discovery by Portuguese navigators João Gonçalves Zarco and Tristão Vaz Teixeira in 1419. The island was uninhabited, covered in dense laurel forests that the Portuguese burned to create farmland, giving it the name Madeira, wood. Funchal got its name from Funcho, fennel, which grew abundantly in the area where the settlers established their main town. The introduction of sugar cane from Sicily in the 15th century created Madeira's first economic boom, making it one of Europe's primary sugar sources. The wealth from sugar built the beautiful churches and palaces that still grace Funchal today. When Brazilian sugar eventually undercut Madeira's market, the island reinvented itself through wine production, creating the legendary Madeira wine that became essential to long sea voyages and graced the tables of European nobility. The Mercado dos Lavradores, farmers' market, explodes with colors, scents, and flavors found nowhere else in Portugal. Exotic fruits like passion fruit, dragon fruit, and custard apples mingle with traditional vegetables, flowers, and spices. The market women, dressed in traditional costumes, continue centuries-old traditions of hospitality and commerce. The Madeira wine lodges offer tastings of the world's most resilient wine. Madeira wine improves with age and oxidation, making bottles from the 18th and 19th centuries still drinkable today. The unique production process, which includes heating the wine to simulate long tropical voyages, creates flavors ranging from dry and sharp to rich and sweet. The Zona Velha, Old Town, pulses with authentic Madeiran life, where traditional restaurants serve espetada, beef skewers, and black scabbard fish with passion fruit sauce. The colorful street art project has transformed old buildings into canvases that celebrate local culture while attracting international artists. Funchal, Madeira's subtropical capital, sits in an Atlantic amphitheater where volcanic terrain meets eternal spring climate. From sugar wealth through wine production to modern tourism, the city offers unique experiences including exotic farmers' markets, century-old Madeira wines, world-class botanical gardens, traditional toboggan rides, and the ancient Levada irrigation system that creates unparalleled hiking opportunities. Braga. Braga, nestled in the verdant Minho region of northern Portugal, approximately 55 kilometers northeast of Porto. One of Portugal's oldest cities, Braga was also an ancient seat of religious power, with an archdiocese anchored in the 4th century. Situated at an elevation of 200 meters above sea level in the fertile Aveiro River Valley, Braga enjoys a temperate oceanic climate that has nurtured civilization for over 2 millennia. The city sits strategically between the Lima and Douro rivers, positioned perfectly as a gateway between the Atlantic coast and the mountainous interior. This location made it a natural crossroads for ancient trade routes and later a perfect seat of ecclesiastical power. The surrounding landscape is a patchwork of granite hills, terraced vineyards producing the famous vinho verde, and traditional Portuguese villages where time seems to have stopped centuries ago. It was in Braga that the first cathedral of Portugal was constructed in 1089 and was the seat of power of Pedro de Braga, 1035-1096, the first bishop of Portugal. Ever since, Braga has been the religious heartland of Portugal and today has the highest concentration of religious buildings. But Braga's story begins much earlier. This ancient settlement was known as Bracara Augusta during Roman times, founded by Emperor Augustus himself in 20 BC. The cultural tapestry of Braga reflects layers of Celtic, Roman, Visigothic, and Christian influences. Walking through its historic center, you're literally stepping through pages of European history. The Romans built magnificent roads, aqueducts, and temples here. The Visigoths established it as a regional capital. The Moors briefly occupied it, adding their architectural flourishes. But it was the Christian reconquest that truly defined Braga's character, transforming it into the Portuguese Rome. Today, the university and the quality of contemporary architecture have instilled an atmosphere of youthful vibrancy, which has brought this ancient city an unexpected modernity. This fascinating juxtaposition of ancient spirituality and modern energy creates a unique atmosphere that you'll feel the moment you arrive. The crown jewel of Braga is undoubtedly the sanctuary of Bom Jesus do Monte. There is one attraction in Braga which you must visit on your trip, the sanctuary of Bom Jesus do Monte. This incredible sanctuary is mostly famous for its extraordinary Baroque staircase, which leads up to a beautiful church. There are also several chapels and fountains on the way. This UNESCO World Heritage Site represents one of Europe's most spectacular religious complexes, with its zigzagging Baroque staircase containing 577 steps, representing the ascent to salvation. The Braga Cathedral, Portugal's oldest cathedral, stands as a monument to the city's spiritual significance. Its mixture of Romanesque, Gothic, Manueline, and Baroque styles tells the story of Portuguese architecture across centuries. Don't miss the treasury, which houses some of the most precious religious artifacts in Portugal. The Archbishop's Palace and the beautiful Santa Barbara Gardens provide a perfect example of how Braga seamlessly blends history with beauty. These small but attractive public gardens are located adjacent to the eastern wing of the 14th century Archbishop's Palace. The garden takes advantage of the historic backdrop and also incorporates the medieval arches that remain of an arcade from the palace. Portugal's spiritual capital offers visitors a journey through 2,000 years of history, from Roman foundations to modern university life. The must-see Bom Jesus Sanctuary provides one of Europe's most spectacular religious experiences, while the historic center reveals centuries of architectural evolution. Braga perfectly represents how Portugal honors its past while embracing the future. Faro. Faro, the capital of Portugal's southernmost Algarve region, sits like a precious gem on the edge of the Ria Formosa Natural Park, one of Europe's most important wetland ecosystems. Located approximately 300 kilometers south of Lisbon, Faro serves as the gateway to the Algarve, welcoming millions of visitors through its international airport to discover the wonders of southern Portugal. The city occupies a strategic position on a series of barrier islands and peninsulas that create a complex system of lagoons, salt marshes, and channels. This unique geography has shaped Faro's identity for millennia, making it a natural harbor and trading post coveted by various civilizations. The Ria Formosa stretches for 60 kilometers along the coast, creating a paradise for wildlife and offering some of the most pristine beaches in Europe. Faro has a long and rich history that dates back to the 8th century BC. Throughout the ages, a variety of cultures have left their marks here, including the Phoenicians, Romans, Visigoths, and Moors. This incredible cultural layering makes Faro a living museum where you can trace the footsteps of ancient civilizations. The Phoenicians established the first settlements here, drawn by the excellent natural harbor and rich fishing grounds. The Romans transformed it into an important administrative center called Osinoba, building roads, aqueducts, and grand villas whose mosaics still dazzle visitors today. Its 9th century Roman walls, Byzantine watchtowers, and Moorish wall arches tell the story of a truly multicultural city, a melting pot of North African and Iberian cultures. Faro was an important seaport under the Moors. The Moorish period, lasting from the 8th to 13th centuries, profoundly influenced Faro's architecture, cuisine, and culture. The distinctive whitewashed buildings, intricate tilework, and emphasis on courtyard gardens all reflect this Moorish heritage. When the Christians reconquered the city in 1249, they didn't destroy this legacy, but rather incorporated it into their own vision, creating the unique Algarvian identity we see today. Faro's Cidade Velha, Old Town, is enclosed within ancient walls that have protected the city for over 1,000 years. The 13th century Faro Cathedral, built on the site of a former mosque, showcases the city's religious evolution. Its Gothic, Renaissance, and Baroque elements tell the story of Portugal's architectural development. The Municipal Museum, housed in a 16th-century convent, contains one of the Algarve's finest archaeological collections. Here you can see Roman mosaics that rival those of Pompeii, Moorish ceramics that speak of sophisticated artistic traditions, and medieval artifacts that bring the Christian reconquest to life. But Faro's greatest treasure might be the Ria Formosa Natural Park itself. This UNESCO Biosphere Reserve is home to over 200 bird species, including flamingos, spoonbills, and the rare purple gallinule. Boat trips through the lagoons reveal uninhabited islands with pristine beaches, traditional salt pans still worked by local families, and fishing communities that maintain centuries-old traditions. Faro offers history and culture, along with a varied selection of cafes, restaurants, and bars. Being a major city, there is decent nightlife, and this tends to be aimed at Portuguese patrons rather than foreign tourists. By day, Faro has an unhurried and calm ambience, but by night, there is a vibrant energy that reflects authentic Portuguese culture. As the capital of the Algarve, Faro serves as both a cultural crossroads and a gateway to natural wonders. Its multi-layered history from Phoenicians to Moors creates a unique cultural identity, while the surrounding Ria Formosa offers some of Europe's most pristine coastal ecosystems. Faro proves that Portugal's south offers much more than just beaches. It's a destination where history, culture, and nature converge magnificently. Lagos. Lagos is a historic and characterful city that is situated on the beautiful Western Algarve. Located in the Western Algarve region of Portugal, Lagos is a coastal city rich in history and deeply connected to the era of Portuguese discoveries in the 15th century. Positioned where the Bensafram River meets the Atlantic Ocean, Lagos occupies one of the most spectacular coastal settings in Europe. The city sits on dramatic cliffs of golden limestone and sandstone, carved by millennia of Atlantic waves into some of the world's most photographed rock formations. The surrounding coastline stretches for over 20 kilometers, featuring hidden coves, towering sea stacks, natural arches, and beaches that seem sculpted by artistic gods. The crystal-clear waters range from deep Atlantic blue to brilliant turquoise in the sheltered bays, creating a palette that no painter could ever truly capture. Lagos is a city in the district of Faro in Portugal. According to tradition, the city was founded about 2,000 years before the birth of Christ, having been under rule by the Carthaginians, Romans, and Muslims. After the Christian reconquest, it played a leading role in the Portuguese discoveries. But it was during the Age of Discovery that Lagos truly made its mark on world history. Lagos is also a historic center of the Portuguese Age of Discovery, frequent home of Henry the Navigator, historical shipyard, and at one time, center of the European slave trade. From Lagos harbors, Portuguese navigators launched expeditions that would change the world forever. Henry the Navigator established a naval school here, where the greatest explorers of the age learned navigation, cartography, and seamanship. This golden age of exploration brought immense wealth to Lagos, evident in the magnificent architecture of its historic center. You can easily spend a whole afternoon inside Lagos' 16th century walls, walking the cobblestone streets, admiring the tiled buildings and historic churches, and stopping in cafes and shops. The Ponta de Bandeira Fortress, the Church of Santo Antonio with its stunning Baroque interior, and the remains of the ancient city walls all tell the story of Lagos' pivotal role in world history. But this is all an appetizer to the city's main course. Its dozens of stunning beaches where sandy shores meet dramatic cliffs in spectacular fashion. Praia Dona Ana, consistently ranked among the world's most beautiful beaches, showcases Lagos' coastal magnificence with its golden cliffs, emerald waters, and perfect crescents of sand. Ponta de Piedade stands as Lagos' crown jewel, a headland where wind and water have sculpted limestone into a wonderland of arches, caves, and pinnacles. Boat trips from Lagos Marina take visitors through this natural cathedral, where the interplay of light and water creates an almost spiritual experience. The famous Benagil Cave, accessible by kayak or boat tour, represents one of nature's most perfect creations, a collapsed sea cave with a natural skylight that illuminates a hidden beach. The golden light filtering through the opening creates an otherworldly atmosphere that has made it one of the most photographed locations in Portugal. Today, though, most visitors come here for one thing: the dreamy beaches of Lagos' stunning coastline. But Lagos offers so much more, from the morning fish market, where local fishermen sell their catch as their ancestors did centuries ago, to the vibrant nightlife that makes it a favorite among young travelers from around the world. Lagos perfectly embodies Portugal's dual nature as both a land of historical significance and natural beauty. This former center of world exploration now serves as a playground for beach lovers and adventure seekers, while its magnificent coastline represents some of Europe's most spectacular coastal scenery. Lagos proves that the best destinations offer both cultural depth and natural wonder. As our journey through these 10 incredible Portuguese destinations comes to an end, I hope you've discovered what makes Portugal such a special place in the hearts of those who visit. From Lisbon's 7 hills to Lagos' golden cliffs, from Évora's Roman temples to Funchal's eternal spring, we've witnessed a country that offers profound lessons about resilience, beauty, and the art of living well. Here's a thought-provoking question for you. After learning about these 10 destinations, which Portuguese value or tradition would you most like to incorporate into your own life? Is it the resilience that rebuilt Lisbon after the 1755 earthquake? The artistic dedication that created Sintra's fairy tale palaces? The maritime courage that led Portuguese explorers to discover new worlds? I'd love to hear your thoughts in the comments below. Which destination called to you most strongly, and what Portuguese lesson resonated with your own life experience? Don't forget to subscribe to our channel for more incredible travel adventures. We are constantly discovering new destinations and uncovering the stories that make travel not just about seeing new places, but about becoming better versions of ourselves. Until our next adventure together, keep exploring, keep dreaming, and remember that the world is full of wonders just waiting to be discovered.